Greetings, everyone, and welcome. December the 9th, 2025, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. in Kyiv, Ukraine. Vladimir Putin, hours ago, confirming two things in a video conference. A, Donbass is historically Russian. And B, Russia is forced to end the special military operation, not through negotiations or a peace deal, but through the use of military force. What is interesting is this is on the heels of some unique statements that President Donald Trump made in an interview with Dasha Burns on Politico, and on the heels of some interesting statements put out last night by Representative Luna, who is absolutely a Kremlin tool. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I have it all for you. We can confirm here. You're seeing the thumbnail and the title, Putin's new threat confirmed. Guys, we know this. Ukraine is not going to capitulate. Ukraine is not going to give up their land. We heard tough statements with Macron yesterday. We have cards. Merz saying, I'm really skeptical about the U.S. You put all of this together, and the Putin statement I'm going to play for you now is on the heels of all of those statements over the last 48, 72 hours. Let's start first with just hours ago. This is Vladimir Putin. The territory is important, and this is our historical territory, absolutely, no questions. Russia was formed such that this has always been part of Russia. There's no question about that. It's simply a natural thing. It's a historical fact. And even during the formation of the initial Soviet Union, there was a dispute. I've mentioned this before. Donbass became part of the Russian Soviet Federation. That was Vladimir Lenin. He decided it as he saw. He put it directly there in the documents. Additionally, it was reconsidered, and he decided that this Donbass was given to Ukraine. So, well, that's what happened historically. I won't comment on that now. But it's not just about that. It's about the people who did not accept the coup in Ukraine in 2014. They began fighting against them with artillery, heavy equipment, tanks, and aircraft. And that's how it all started. That's when the war began, and we're trying to end it. We're forced to do so by armed means, and we will certainly bring this to its logical conclusion, achieving all the goals of this special military operation. Guys, there you have it. Once again, everything is Ukraine's fault. It goes even historically back to Vladimir Lenin, although there were some nuances in the middle, but it's about the people. There was a coup, and then Ukraine, they just attacked all of our good people. So we're defending them and liberating them. Of course, I could take you with pictures now and video and show you the liberation, which is actually raising Ukraine to the ground. Maybe that's a better way to say it. But you can see here, all these statements are on the heels of everything else that has happened over the last 48 to 72 hours, including the President Trump statements with Dasha Burns. And, you can just see it, guys. Everything's Ukraine's fault. That is Putin's talking point. Well, now let's move over to the statements that were made by Donald Trump. And no, I am not going to play all of these videos. I have two little clips I'm going to play because it's just disgusting. For me, I'm not an expert, for example, in taxation. So I'm not making videos about taxation. I'm not going to talk to you about taxation. I'm not going to talk about high-level banking. I have no idea what all that is about. I'm going to stay in my lane and share and educate geopolitics, specifically right now, Ukraine, my second home, Russia, but all the other nations I work in around the world. We could start talking about the repression in Tanzania right now. We could go to the wars that are reigniting where we've had peace settlements. We could go to Pakistan and talk. You name it. I've been working around the world for over 30 years. But I'm going to stay in my lane. So now we have Trump with Dasha actually agreeing with Putin's statements. This is what he said. It's time to hold presidential elections in Ukraine. He said, quote, Ukrainians talk about democracy, but this is no longer a democracy. I'm not even going to play it, but this is what he said. Zelensky is a great salesman who made Biden give him $350 billion. But at the same time, he lost 25% of his country. It's not lost, it's being fought for. And it's just such a disgusting viewpoint. Russia now has the advantage in the negotiations. There's no doubt about that. That's because you flip-flop, sir. In about 6 weeks, you went from, Ukraine's army is strong. I think they can win the war, take all their territory back, and even move into Russia. And from then until now, Russia has the advantage in negotiations. There's no doubt about that. That's because you send Witkoff to talk to Putin. Hello, this is easy to understand. Then he makes this statement, and Ukraine not happy about this statement. None of these statements. They're boiling right now. I think this is a fair statement to say, and we potentially are seeing the U.S. exit. He says, there's only one reason I want to end the war in Ukraine. I hate seeing young, beautiful people killed. Now, for that, I appreciate that. Yes, we all hate seeing young, beautiful people killed. But sometimes you have to fight for what you believe in. You have to fight for justice. You cannot let an aggressive state just move sovereign borders through military action. There's no stability in the world if we allow that to happen. He says the war in Ukraine could have escalated into World War III, but that won't happen now. Yeah, because it looks like the United States is on the way out the door. Now, listen, I can't handle but so much of this stuff, to be quite honest with you. Let's play this clip here.
The consensus in Europe right now is that they want to keep supporting Ukraine until they can win this war.
Until they drop, yeah.
Until they drop.
Well,
is that realistic in your view?
I mean, look, then they should support it. Europe is, I'm friendly with all of them. I mean, I like all of them. I have no real enemy. I've had a couple that I didn't like over the years. I actually like the current crew. I like them a lot.
Okay. I'm not even going to really comment on that other than to say then he makes the statement, then they should continue to support it. Okay, they should continue to support it. Or they're fighting until they all drop. That's Kremlin talk, guys. Then they should support it. So is this an exit? In fact, I look forward to the comments. What are your thoughts? Is the U.S. on the way out? Now, the second point that I want to make is if you're talking, it's like I was going back and talking about the banking, and I'm not an expert on that. Well, okay, this is so disgusting right here. I can't handle it. I'll do my best. But Ukraine today is looking at the United States, and specifically President Trump as the commander-in-chief, and asking the questions. These are soldiers asking the questions. How can you truly represent us or stand with us or fight with us, be our friend, ally, if you do not even understand the basic geography of our nation? Take a look.
I'm very good at real estate. And every time I look at that map, I said, oh, this Crimea is so beautiful. Wow. It's surrounded on 4 sides by ocean. It's only got a little piece of land to get to, to the main, I mean, Crimea is massive, but it connects the part of Ukraine that we talk about now through a small little jetty. It's 4 sides of ocean in the warmest part. It's got the best weather, best everything, and I know you are Ukrainian, and you know Ukraine very well. And Obama forced them to give up.
I mean, listen, she can see through you, Mr. Trump. Okay, guys, here is Crimea, surrounded by 4 oceans with just a little narrow strip to get to the mainland. First of all, this is not an ocean. This is the Black Sea here. The Black Sea. This is the Sea of Azov. It has a connection through a bridge into Russia, through the Kerch Strait. It also has multiple highway connections into Ukraine that is now occupied by Russia. It is not surrounded by oceans on all 4 sides. There are no oceans. And if you're talking about it's just connected by a narrow little strip of land, you just do not understand anything. And by the way, in case President Trump is able to view this video, please share it to the White House. I would just like to make reference. This is the Black Sea. Okay, upper left. This is the Pacific Ocean. Now, Hawaii is surrounded on all 4 sides. by a huge ocean. But for sure, Crimea is not. I know a little tongue in cheek and humor there, but the reality is this is what Ukraine is looking at and saying, okay, just exit, get off. Let us fight for our nation and find friends who will stick through us, thick or thin. And I agree with that completely. Now, last night, I almost put a video out last night because this lady's driving me bonkers because she's just spewing Kremlin talking points and lies. And with this, guys, I can confirm for you 100% from 28 years working in Ukraine that these are lies. The U.S. government should not be giving $400 million to Ukraine, especially with President Zelensky refusing to respond to the president on the peace deal. The Ukrainian government was just busted for public corruption, and you can guarantee money laundering is involved. The fact that Congress is still sending them funding is horrifying. This needs to be taken out of the NDAA. She's talking about the 2026 budget that's being put out. Now, we can talk about that and break it up, but we don't have to, okay? That's nothing but Kremlin talking points. She wants to talk about the corruption. You can't be giving money to Ukraine. They're corrupt. The fact Congress still funding them is horrifying. It gets worse. The U.S. is bankrolling the systematic persecution of Christians in Ukraine. Activists scream human rights until Christians are the victims. Stop sending American tax dollars to Ukraine. I have worked in almost every region of Ukraine for 28 years. There is no systematic persecution of Christians in Ukraine. Everybody watching this video, please blow up Anna Paulina Luna's Twitter, phone, anything. Ask her to come on here with me and I will explain to her the propaganda that she has fallen under and give her my experiences to better educate her to hopefully see the light. We continue. Reports confirm church raids, clergy detentions, and state pressure on certain Christian denominations in Ukraine. Yes, the same Ukraine that Congress keeps writing blank checks to. If a government is jailing Christians, why are we still sending them hundreds of millions with no oversight? Stop the funding, demand accountability. Are you kidding me? Reports confirm church raids, clergy detentions, and state pressure on certain Christian denominations in Ukraine. Let me tell you something, guys. I could take my Bible right now, go stand right on Maidan, build me a platform, play some music, and preach anything I want if I wanted to, and nobody would arrest me. They would come around and listen. It's the facts. It's the facts. This lady is so full of Russian propaganda, it hurts. Where does it come from? Right here. Her good friend, Kirill Dmitriev, I have circled for you. Just weeks ago, she met with him. The title of the book that he gave her is Powerful Sayings of Vladimir Putin. Powerful Sayings of Vladimir Putin. So if you're wondering where this perception comes from, it comes from directly in the heart of the Kremlin. This is what we fight against every day. This is what we stand for. Truth, maybe some basic education on the difference between a real ocean and a sea. And in addition to that, listen to the talking points that are coming from the Kremlin, from DC, from Zelensky, from Europe. The last thing that I want to share with you on this first update of the day really connects all the dots for you. And this is the basic viewpoint of Ukraine, its European friends, and people that are thinking logically and thinking about the future. Here it is, very simple. 3 key moments. The first problem for Ukraine is security guarantees. It will demand more than Moscow can accept. So no matter what we talk about, whether it be NATO or a standing army, these will always be points that Moscow will not agree on. This is why Putin is saying we're going to finish it militarily. Number 2, the second is the recognition of Crimea and the 4 new regions. That is the Kremlin's position. It's what Donald Trump is now talking about. And Ukraine and Europe refuses to accept. We're specifically talking about the Donetsk region right now because it's so strong and powerfully held in the 30% that Ukraine is holding. It's easy to see. They're not just going to give it away. And thirdly, the third is the disarmament of the Ukrainian armed forces. And here, both Kyiv and the West oppose it. Ukraine cannot become a disarmed nation. Not possible. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, standing with us as we all together fight for truth. Be blessed. We'll be back soon.